What's up guys, my name is Zach Weiss and I am the Incubating Entrepreneur. A few years back, I found this interesting article that talked about 30 rules for my son, and I kept it on my phone ever since. Actually, last year I framed it on my wall, and I'll show you it at the end of this video. But today I just wanted to discuss these 30 rules with you, and I wanted to get your feedback. Do you agree with them? Do you disagree with them? What do you think? So without further ado, I want to dive right in. Let's go. Number 1, never shake a man's hand sitting down. This one is really powerful in my opinion because it shows you how to respect another person in order to win over the friendship. If you stand up for someone in a room, that means that you respect them. And if you shake someone's hand, a first impression is so important. And I can tell you that from personal experience in my networking that actually doing this procedure and standing up, it just says that you're putting in a little bit more effort for the other person. The second one is, there are many ways to enter a pool, the stairs ain't one. Now, when I first read this, I took it very literally, as if there needed to be a pool and stairs. However, I think this is a metaphor for saying that you shouldn't slowly dip your feet in anything that you do. You should go full in and like jump in essentially in any goals or motivations that you have. And I think that one makes a lot more sense than literally the pool analogy. But if we did take it just strictly for the pool, I do prefer to jump in and not dip my feet in and go through the stairs. Let me know what you guys think about this one. A man at the grill is the closest thing we have to a king. I really agree with this one. So back when I turned 18 years old in 2014, I hosted a big barbecue with a bunch of my friends, and I cooked literally at a grill for this event. And the entire time I was just watching everyone connect, and I love the idea of bringing people together. And I was so happy that I saw everyone there while I was just flipping burgers. And if we take this one quite literally, I would agree with this one myself. In a negotiation, you never make the first offer. Wow, this one definitely holds true. After my last year and currently and tomorrow I'm gonna be doing more sales, I can tell you that the first person to speak in negotiations always loses. I recommend you guys read the book Never Split the Difference. There are amazing books on negotiations, but this one really stood out to me and helped me with my sales process. Act like you've been there before, especially in the end zone. Now, I'm pretty sure this one is reflecting off of the principle of the 7 habits of highly effective people, where you're supposed to begin with the end in mind. In meditation, there's a practice called visualization, and this is very key in achieving your goals. A lot of billionaires in the world will visualize their goals already being achieved. Visualizing your goals increases your ability to achieve it because your brain doesn't know the difference between something you imagined is true and actually true. The next one is request the late checkout. I don't know how I feel about this one. I had a friend last night argue with me that it's not necessarily hold true all the time, especially if you have an 8 a.m. meeting, but I wanted to include it because it is in the list. When entrusted with a secret, keep it. This one, in my opinion, is one of the most important rules here. The most important quality you can have in someone else is trust. And as soon as you lose trust, it is so hard to get it back. Hold your heroes to a higher standard. Have you ever heard that quote from Spider-Man?
With great power comes great responsibility.
I'm pretty sure that that's what they were meaning in this rule, because when you have someone who is a leader or someone that you look up to, they have principles and things that they must constantly follow day by day in order to keep that stature. And if they screw that up, then it's so much harder to get back that reputation. Just like trust, reputation is super important, and you have to hold your heroes to a higher standard. Return a borrowed car with a full tank of gas. Now this one, even as taken literally, makes sense. Well, first of all, when you rent a car, you need to return it with the same amount of gas that you left it with. What this really means to me is that if you borrow something from someone else, then you have to return it in the same quality, if not better, than how you borrowed it originally. When you guys are at restaurants, don't fill up on bread. When shaking a man's hand, grip tightly, and look them straight in the eye. This one goes really well with the first rule, and the whole point is that you're trying to develop a strong first impression. When like 95% of communication is nonverbal, this is essential to master. Don't let a wishbone grow where a backbone should be. It's saying don't rely on motivation or wishful thinking or chance to get to where your goals are. You need to rely on hard work and effort in order to get from point A to point B. I don't spend every single day buying a lottery ticket, wishing and hoping that I become a millionaire, but rather I spend every single day in the grind, making it a reality. If you need music on the beach, you're missing the point. Now, personally, I actually like listening to music on the beach, but the point of it is saying that when you're in nature, you should be experiencing the nature aspect of it, and you shouldn't be closing yourself off and being connected when you should be being disconnected. The next one dives into relationships. You need to carry 2 handkerchiefs. The one in your back pocket is for you, and the one in your breast pocket is for her. And in my opinion, this one is saying that as soon as you are in a relationship or you're married, you always have to be thinking about 2 people. And this is very powerful because in a relationship, there's always give and take, and you always want to be thinking about 2 whenever you have someone else. It's really just about being considerate. This one is why I made this video. You marry the girl, you marry her whole entire family. This one was so true for me because when I was dating my ex, I really hope she doesn't see this video, I saw her increasingly become like her mother. And I really hated her mother. I couldn't stand her, in fact. And to see over time that she was becoming her mother and I had to deal with her mother and her family, that really put the nail in the coffin for me. It was freaky. So just make sure that if you are marrying someone or you're in a serious relationship, that you are definitely putting their family onto the plate of things that you're going to be keeping forever. Because even though you can technically just focus on your partner, their family is always going to be tied to you, whether it's for holidays, remember Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, all these different things. You're going to be interacting with them on a fairly regular basis year after year. So can you tolerate that? You need to know that, and like think about where they're coming from. If they're coming from my ex was Russian, they're very close. It's not like some American families where like kids just forget about their families. They're very close. So really take this into consideration when you are dating someone. Be like a duck. Remain calm on the outside, but paddle like crazy underneath. And I think this one is just about being a strong leader in the sense that if you are freaking out or you're anxious, you don't want to be giving up all your cards, because if you get nervous, everyone is going to freak out. So you need to just stay calm, breathe through it, and figure out any problem you're trying to solve. Because as the man of the household, it's your responsibility to get everything straight. Experience the serenity of traveling alone. I haven't done this yet, but I definitely want to, and everyone who has told me about traveling alone and how amazing it was just inspired me to do it, and I'm glad that it's on this list. Personal favorite of mine, don't be afraid to ask out the best looking girl in the room. Now this one's very powerful because you should never settle. If people are constantly just taking what's easy and what's right in front of them, they're going to get disappointed in life, and when you become older, you're gonna have so many regrets. Who cares if you get rejected? I learned over time that so many times rejection is not even because of you, it's because they're going through stuff. Don't take it personally and start taking chances. You're gonna end up with the job you want, the girl you want, and the life you want. Never turn down a breath mint. I don't think this one needs explaining. Sometimes in a game of horse, a simple throw will get them. This one is definitely a metaphor because not everyone plays basketball. The point is that you don't need to overcomplicate things in order to win. In fact, there's a question by Tim Ferriss that I always love asking myself. If this were easy, what would it look like? So always try to just bend and take off all the layers of something before trying to solve a problem, because sometimes there's something standing right in front of you and it's so obvious. A sport coat is worth 1,000 words. Try writing your own eulogy and never stop revising. I tell this one to all my friends. You want to constantly be beginning with the end in mind, but also not just monetary, but how do you think your friends and your family are going to describe you after you pass? Are they going to talk about how much money you made or how many things you achieved? Or are they going to focus on who you were as a person? This is very powerful because it allows you to focus on character traits. What are you trying to build? Who are you trying to become on a daily basis? And this will affect how you treat people and yourself on a day-to-day basis. Thank a veteran and then make it up to him. This one's very interesting because it's saying that not only should you respect a veteran for what they went through, but it's your responsibility as a human being to hold up what they protected. So for example, if they protected our country and because of them you're free, then you have to hold up those values for everyone else. If you want to know what makes you unique, sit for a caricature. This one's interesting. It's basically saying if you don't know what makes you unique, then give someone else the shot to tell you or to help you figure it out. This was so true for me with this channel because I didn't know what the best thing I could do for you was, and apparently I'm getting this common high energy, motivating, kind of inspiring person. And these are words that I'm getting from other people, and I never saw myself as all these things, but because I've heard it from other people, I'm capitalizing on those qualities. And yeah, you should do the same thing. It doesn't have to be with a YouTube video, but like in general, ask your friends and your family, people that you respect, kind of like what things make me unique if you have trouble figuring it out for yourself. Eat lunch with the new kid. This one is so true for me. I've been in so many different schools, and the point is that you should be welcoming to people who just join your community and make them feel at home. Be a good host. And it also, this principle that was instilled in other people allowed me to build some of the strongest relationships I have today. So for you as a person, whenever you see someone who's new and nervous and struggling, go out and make them feel at home. Become their friend. And I might be enrolling in this volunteer service called Big Brother, Big Sister, where I get paired up with a kid, and twice a month I meet with him and just be his friend. And this is very, very powerful for me because I also want to be a father, but also for you to just learn how to do this on your own. After writing an angry email, read it carefully and delete it. When you're angry, your limbic system takes over and you say things that you really didn't want to say in the moment, but you did because you just wanted to fire bullets at the other person to win, to feel better about yourself. And if you're writing an email especially, then you cannot take that back. Words you cannot take back. But if it's in an email, it's there forever. And in the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, which I drop in every single video, one of the principles is that you should avoid arguments whenever possible. But if you're in an argument, you should stop them as soon as possible. But you want to make sure that you're not saying anything that you cannot take back. And this is a massive lesson because usually when you're arguing with someone, it's totally an ego game and you're trying to be right. Something in my previous relationship that was a big issue was that she would always try to be right, and even when I knew I was right, I would still apologize. And the point is, like, arguing doesn't get you anywhere, anger doesn't get you anything you want, and it's a weak sense of displaying power. Ask your mom to play, she won't let you win. This one I interpreted as just spending more quality time with your mother. For me personally, my mom doesn't want anything from me, she just wants quality time, and I want to give that to her. As I grow older and busier, you have to keep that as one of your most important priorities because they gave everything to you to get you to where you are today, to give you the tools. So why not just give them your time and, for all intents and purposes, play some chess with them. See it on the big screen. For all my friends out there who want to wait till it comes out on Netflix just to save a few dollars, if it's a big premiere, make it an experience, invite some friends, get some popcorn, and watch that movie in theaters. At least until theaters cease to exist. I don't know. Give credit and take the blame. This one is so important because you need to be humble. When someone does something, you need to give them credit for it. And if someone is disputing, it doesn't matter Who is right and wrong? You need to take the blame and get rid of that dispute as soon as possible to get the emotions outside of the argument. You need to start using logic, and in order to do that, it's your responsibility to take the blame. And I learned this one over time. I hope you guys do too. This one is probably one of the most powerful ones here, and I do it. I write a letter to myself, I write my goals down. You need to have a physical representation of what you want in life so that you can refer back to it and make revisions when necessary. If you guys stay to the end, please like this video so that YouTube knows that you liked it. And if you are new here, please subscribe, stick along, and stay for the rest of the journey. Have an amazing day, and I will see you guys in the next one.